Irashaimase! Welcome to The Art of Comics. We're going to talk about C-O-M-I-X, comics. Today, we're talking about Zap. Just came back from WonderCon a couple days ago, and I didn't buy much. I bought 3 little things. I'll share them with you. One of them was this. For $3, I found a Zap Comics. I don't need more Marvel and DC. I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm not saying, I'm just kind of like, I'm at the stage in my career / life / interest that the superhero world, those guys, it's just not hitting me anymore. I'm not saying I grew out of it, but we evolve. But this kind of stuff is fun to get. I don't have it. Of course, I know of Zap, and I know of Robert Crumb and that whole San Francisco scene in the 70s. This is issue number 7 from 1973, a good year. And we're going to go through, there's some really cool art pieces, and I'm going to scan a couple of these, and I will put them in the description below so you can have them, because some of these are really cool to like color or something like that, so I'll give that to you guys. That'll be kind of fun. Let's take a look at Zap number 7. Let's do it right now. Come on.
Are you ready?
Okay, everybody, let's talk about Zap. And let's talk about this cool comic that I think is pretty fun. $3, the retailed at $1 at one point. This vendor, it was over there where all the, the actual comic book vendors are. And I usually don't go to the big ones that have just all the modern stuff. I look for the little smaller booths of the guys with all the weird, used stuff. And I found this. The guy before me found a bunch of Crumb. And I was like, what is that? And he's like, yeah, dude. And I was like, dang it. So I thought this was really cool. I'm gonna scan this and give this to you guys. This is kind of cool. This was done by, here it is, Hank Elephant Boy Long Crank. And I thought it was really cool. And there's another one on the other back cover here, which is cool. So I'll scan both of these. This would be kind of cool for like a little wallpaper on your computer or something, or print it out and color it. I don't know, it'd be kind of cool. So check out the description. If you want to support me in this channel and things like that, go to my Patreon, which is also in the description, because I would appreciate that, as I am working on my own creative things. So put that in your sandwich. Okay, now let's start with this story called Sangrella by a person named Spain. And that's all I know of Sangrella. I don't know much more than that of this dude, or gal. But let's take a look at it. I mean, what's really interesting about this art is just the really level of detail and the way it's inked and the spotted blacks. It really is well done. Despite what you might think about some of the material and the content, like, this stuff is really well done and drafted. And I really like the lines, the using hatching and using different line widths to show depth is really cool. I just really dig it. I really like all this stuff here, all these things. And it's very busy, but it is understandable. It is, we talked before about that book, Ryuku, and how some things, it was just, you couldn't really understand. I can understand this. I see what this is, right? And that's really important, especially with black and white stuff. With color will help you read stuff, but when it's black and white, it's really got to be readable. Really cool use of the duotone. Very like graphic, hard. I mean, this angle here of her peeing on the fire hydrant that has like a face on it. I mean, there's a lot of like really rough, twisted, almost feels like those like European kind of stories, but this is here in the States. Well, I don't know that. I don't know who Spain is. Maybe Spain is not. I don't know. Yeah, but this is really, really cool. Paper's pretty yellowed. I mean, this has seen better days, but that's okay. But I really like this. Just really kind of the costuming, these ideas of the tech and the biomechanic and cyborg stuff is really neat. This is a cool panel too. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of things, and there is this like hyper sexualized violence and depravity. I mean, that's what this kind of like, that's their jam here. This is really cool too. I really like the perspective here, and the use of duo shade is really nice. This is all really cool. This is a great page. This would be fun to see big. I mean, I would really like to see the originals of these. I think that would be really cool. There's another really cool page. I mean, this is really good art. I didn't catch that this was a big phallic symbol until later, but I caught it then. But these are really good panels. This is good stuff. Again, this is the same time as like heavy metal, so you're getting a lot of like influence. And this is the 70s. It almost reminds me of like, 70s film was also gritty and violent, and it's just, I think all of the arts were coming into this like different way of seeing the world and seeing things. It's a cool panel. And that's it. So it ends with that one. Now we're going to go to another story called The Adventures of Fat Freddy Cat. And this is Gilbert Shelton. Don't know who that is. You guys probably do. This is a little more humor. You can tell just like all the panels, what's going on here. Again, but the rendering, look at this. This is a great panel to show the depths, right? And really give us a real great sense of three-dimensionality by the different lines used and showing kind of depth with the different hatching. It's very, very well done. The modeling on this is really cool. Yeah, the cat. Kind of nice silhouette background. Very classic kind of comics stuff, but it works really well. Here's another one of these crank images. This is really kind of wild. Sometimes it is hard to see what's going on. You have to like sit here for a while to like process it. There's a person here. There's someone getting stabbed. There's a titty here. Where does that lead? So it's like there's a boob there. Where does that go? It takes a little bit of time to like read it all. But when I look at art like this, I think of the amount of time it takes. When you look at, this is a lot like Pescor, right? Ed Pescor does this kind of style and flavor, and you got to give it up for just the number of lines and the time it takes to model this out. Here's another comic. Then we have Mr. Natural Meets the Kid. This is our Crumb. This is the first. There's a couple of Crumb stories in here. This is Mr. Natural. He's one of his characters he's done. And again, it looks just like his work. It's Robert Crumb. He keeps having this vision of this boy's face. He's trying to get this boy's face out of his mind, and he can't do it. It's almost like a Tex Avery cartoon. He can't get rid of it, and he finds out this boy is God. This image is but God, and he can't get rid of it. Which I thought that's who kind of Mr. Natural was supposed to be. but then now he's back in the real world, and he finds out, right when he's trying to get rid of that boy's face, he sees all these people, protesters, or not protesters, but like fans of or parade of the boy. Classic Crumb woman with the large legs and posterior. Here's another story called Rough Trade Lib, I think it's called, by Worthington Farbar. Just a one-page, kind of a strange. Hookin' and Jabbin' with Zeke the Zook. Futuristic Glimpse. This is by Clay Wilson, S. Clay Wilson. Really kind of cool. Yeah, it does get a little hard to read. This is much easier here. You can see the blacks spotted out. This is a different artist. Or if it's not a different artist, it really does look... Actually, it's not a different artist, but it definitely is easier to decipher. The Mentor in the Mason Jar by Robert Williams. I've never seen someone say Robert with the R-O-B-T. That's interesting. Never seen the abbreviation. This is really cool. I actually like this. I like the lines. I like the brush. This is all done with brushes. And I really like that. Yeah. Almost reminds me of some kind of Keith Giffen stuff that he would do later on in his career, with brushes and kind of like these kind of like debris and things. Kind of uses that kind of style. Reminds me of some kind of Keith Giffen stuff, which would also go to like Munoz, right? Who's, I think, Spanish, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I do like this. This would look really good colored, I bet. For some reason, I want this colored more than some of the other stuff. I mean, beautiful women. He can draw. This guy can draw all kinds of stuff. That's the thing. These guys were really great, like, artists. They really were great stuff. Here's another little Crumb story. This is just one of these little, I don't know what you call this, like a self-referenced little story. Just him talking to the camera, you know, just trying to be different, trying to like explore what a comic is. This last one is interesting too. Who's the artist for this? You know, it doesn't say. Hang on, one sec. There's no index. See, it says these different people here. Sheldon, Spain, Griffin, Williams, Moscoso, Wilson, Crumb, but I don't know who did this, and I can't. Let's see if we can find it. But this is kind of an interesting one where there's a kind of morphing of characters throughout the story, with this bug performer and this priest type character who transforms into like a crocodile, then back, and it's a kind of a humor thing. It's honestly a little bit beyond my understanding of what's going on really. Then there's the naked girl. She's there. But yeah, it's kind of bewildering what's going on, because then she turns into a fish. But the drawing is really well done. I mean, the face here, like that right there, is really cool. The geometric, almost like a Bridgman, almost like a George Bridgman kind of like drawing there. And there's, I mean, the way she's draped across the lap is really well done. Look at that. That just looks, the body lays. I mean, this is someone who draws this has done anatomy and drawing, life drawing for years and years, right? You don't just draw something like that easily. That's because you know how the body moves. And even this, you know, her changing, those are like great positions that are not done just easily. And then she changes into this kind of Osiris character or some kind of European, not European, Egyptian god. So, kind of interesting. And then there's this one, which I like too. So, there you go. That's Zap for you guys. What a great little book. I wish I had a bunch more of these. These are definitely things you can study and just like learn about just different ways to draw and illustrate. Again, using all the same principles of art that we know, but kind of in a different style, a different way. So, there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out my other videos and the Patreon, and I'll talk to you guys later. Matane!